Hi, and welcome to BUS441 Business Strategy Winter 2020. This video is a getting started video, so it's going to show you how to get started with this course and go over the main elements of the class and how to navigate all the requirements of the course. So it's important that you watch this in its entirety because there are many questions that are commonly asked that I'm going to answer during this video, and these questions can pop up at any time during the video. So please watch the entire video. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to review announcements. So I'm going to follow this menu path. So whenever I talk about the Blackboard menu, I mean this path here. So announcements. So the first announcement is the Getting Started announcement, where in this announcement I suggest that you watch the video. And with my announcements, I usually email them to you as well as post them here. And things you need to do in week 1. So review Blackboard, read all of our announcements, which we're going to do right now. Register for the homework manager, read the syllabus, subscribe to the YouTube playlists, read chapter 1 of the textbook. Okay, so this is sort of a getting started list. So this is the first announcement. Now the second announcement, I talk about the homework manager. So it's just the basic information of how to register for the homework manager, including the course ID, which is posted right here. And we'll go over this again later when we cover the homework manager. The next announcement is about late assignments. So in this class, be very organized with your schedule and the due dates, because I don't accept any late assignments. I have opened up the class early, a month early, so you can start working on the class early in case you have any time issues or days during the week you're not able to work on the class. I'm allowing you to kind of get started early with this course. Once the due dates pass for any of the quizzes or the homeworks or discussion boards, that's it. Okay, they're done. They're in the can. And I will not allow access to them again. So you must make sure you get your assignments done on time. So if you're the type of person who has last minute issues of internet problems, computer problems, Wi-Fi problems, family-related issues, work-related issues that typically prevent you from completing a homework at the last minute, do your homework a few days in advance. So that way, any last-minute things do occur, you still have extra time to complete the homework assignments. And I make this handy assignment due list here where I put all the assignments down and their due dates. And so I try to make the assignments due, give you as much time to do them so they're all sort of lumped together at the last possible minute that can have it become due. So I try to give you as much time as possible. So the key dates are the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th to complete these assignments. So they're in 3 weekly chunks. I have a separate list for the quizzes. So the quizzes have their own days of when they're due, and typically they're due the day after the homework. Okay, so keep an idea of that quiz list. Now, I also have the course schedule posted. So for each week, we'll be covering 3 chapters. So you're going to be reading chapters and watching lectures, participating in the discussion boards, and completing the homework and quizzes. So that's sort of your weekly plan, rinse and repeat for week 2, chapters 4, 5, and 6, and then rinse and repeat for week 3, chapters 7, 8, and 9. And each week you read chapters, watch the videos, participate in the discussion boards, and complete the homeworks and quizzes on the the homework manager. In this class, I think it's called my management lab, but it's all the Pearson homework manager. Okay, so those are the announcements that you should look over more carefully when you get into the course. And this is the first year I put this little logo banner together on the top of the screen, so just to help students recognize that they're actually in the strategy course. If you're taking multiple courses, I know it helps me when I'm bouncing between classes to know quickly where I am, because these blackboards usually look the same. I have also styled it to have a unique color scheme, a winter theme. That's what these are, like snowflakes down here. So you're welcome if that matters to you, the aesthetics of the online course. The second menu tab we're going to look at is the syllabus. So in the syllabus here, what we talk about, and let me just move this over a little bit. Here's the syllabus. So this is an asynchronous class, which means it's 100% online. No physical meetings. So we're never going to see each other face to face. We're never going to talk or communicate in one shared space. So this is all on you. So you are going to choose the best work schedule that works for you as far as watching the videos and reading the chapters and doing the assignments. As long as you get them done before the due date, everything is sort of, you organize your schedule as best as possible. So it's asynchronous. That means, which great news for a lot of students who are away. Some students go back to other locations other than Stony Brook if they're not, so you don't never have to come to Stony Brook to complete this course, which is good news for many people. Now, also, the course description is a good thing to read over. It kind of gives you an idea what this class is about, specifically what we're going to explore. And basically, we're going to start looking at how businesses put together their strategy to compete and to maximize profits. We're going to accomplish these learning goals through the textbook, through video cases, quizzes, homeworks, and discussion boards. So class time is going to be a combination of participating in the discussion boards, watching the course lectures are the main elements. So the e-textbook, there's an e-textbook that we have a separate announcement on, and the textbook comes with the homework manager, so the homework manager and textbook are packaged together. And here's the instructions again, and the course ID. Let's see if this matches. 93-415. If I go back to announcements, sometimes I forget to update that. I just want to make sure. 93. Yep, it matches. Okay, so I did update that. Okay, so I just kind of rewrote it here. The same thing from announcements. So let's talk about the grading elements of the class. Now, the chapter homework is going to be 30% or 300 points. Chapter quizzes will be 45% or 500 points. Class case studies will be 25% or 200 points. So these case discussions, I call them discussion questions, sometimes DBQ, which would be discussion board questions. And I'm going to set up 5 questions, and we're going to go over how to complete these questions and the procedures for these more closely when we get to that menu button. So these, the total of these 3 homework, quizzes, and discussion cases are going to be 1,000 points, or that's 100%. So the homework manager will give you a percentile score as you complete assignments. It'll give you a percentile weighted average, and that weighted average will translate into the percentage grade as you see down here. Also, if you know your points, you can always divide your points by 10 to get that same average. Okay. So participation, we'll talk about that when we talk about the discussion boards, but basically I need you to be in the discussion boards, responding and posting to other students to form the participation in that area, and we'll talk about that more. Again, I posted the schedule, which is on the announcements as well. So you can see how I took the key elements of the syllabus and created announcements out of them, and then the rest of the syllabus. So this is something you should read over more in its entirety when you have time. This is just a brief introduction to the syllabus. Now let's move into the class video lectures. So if you press this button here, you get to the class video lectures, which is going to be, a playlist. So it's going to be strategy. So in the playlist, I'm going to list all of the chapters that I'm going over for you to watch. So this would be one place where the videos for the course are organized, and you can quickly get to and click in and watch any of the videos and have them. I chose YouTube to house the videos because you can play these on your TV, on your tablet, on your phone, in your car, while you're working out, whichever the best option. And when I say play them in your car, I'm not saying watch the videos in your car. I'm saying you could probably play the video on your phone and listen to it through your car audio. So you're listening to the video, not necessarily watching it. Please don't watch the video while you drive. And don't text and drive. So this is a great area to organize for the viewing of these videos in the class. And I make this quick little button here. So what I suggest is when you do get to my YouTube channel here, please subscribe. That will help you to better access to my YouTube channel. And if I post any new videos inside this playlist, you'll get a notification for you to watch that video, that a new video has been posted or updated. So just sort of a word of advice there. Okay, so that's how you get to the class lectures for the course. I also will send out weekly emails reminding you what videos to watch with links in the videos as well, because I want to make sure that it's very clear of what the videos are that you should be watching for the week and where to see them. Now, additionally, you can click on PowerPoints. These will be the PowerPoints for the class. If you want to download and study the PowerPoints or read them over in conjunction with the videos, you can do that. And then that brings us to the discussion questions for the class. So going to the next menu item, discussion questions, we click on that, and you'll see that I've set up a number of questions. So for week 1, Disney versus Netflix, case 1, and this is due, I have the due dates here, due by January 12th, and also for week 1, I have the streaming case, which is related to, so both these cases are related to each other. So for the first week, we have 2 cases, and I'm going to actually, just going to rename this week 1, so you know that week 1, it's a week 1 case. And I always, in the beginning I put click here so you know that this is how you're going to access the case. So for week 1, we have 2 cases. Week 2, we have Amazon takes over, and that's, so we have only one case in week 2, but it's a rather large case. And then week 3, we have 2 cases: the case for plant-based food, and then we have the case on breakfast-oriented case on fast food companies and selling of breakfast. Okay, so those are the 5 cases we're going to be working on. So let's look at this week 1 case. So how do you complete this case? The first thing you do is, I always include a PDF file, maybe 1, sometimes multiple. Like this second streaming case, I have 4 PDF files I include. So these are the basis of where you're going to get your answers from for the case. You click on the PDF file, and that's going to open up the file for you to read. And this is going to be based on, you know, current news or events happening in the business world. So it's just a case pulled out of the current events of strategy in the world. And you read over that case, and then you start answering these questions. So we have 9 questions for you to answer. And this is how you answer the questions. One method I might suggest is just go ahead and highlight the questions, click on where it says click here, click on this area. It's going to open up the thread. So this is where the discussion board is, but you're not going to be able to see the other students' answers until you post yours. So what you're going to do, probably a good idea to click on subscribe, so that way you get notifications of who's posting in this area. And although, play this by ear, you may want to subscribe because it might be beneficial, or it may send a lot of emails and you may not like that. So it's not a necessity that you have to subscribe to the playlist. But click on create thread. Okay, so when you create the thread and you scroll down, you're going to get, this is where you're going to put your response in this message box here. So and sometimes, not always, but usually we'll post the information again up here. But to keep in mind, though, these are weekly assignments. You can't work on discussion board for week 1 in week 2 or week 3 because they're going to close. So you have a week to work on this. And what I want you to do is, ideally, I want you to post your original on Monday and Tuesday, and your replies on Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday. Because if you don't post your originals on Monday or Tuesday, then the other class members can't read them and reply to them. So in the discussion board, what we're trying to do here is simulate a class discussion where I ask questions, you contribute your response to those questions, and then you respond to other students' responses with additional input that may help clarify and enhance the discussion. So this is supposed to be, think of us in a classroom having a discussion about a current event where I'm bringing up the event and talking about it, and then you're asking questions or contributing information to the answer. So this is what these discussion boards are all about, is to be similar to having an in-class discussion. So this is like an online class discussion. So anyway, getting back to answering these questions, when you get into this message box, first thing is you want to do the subject. So in the subject, you want to type in your name, say your last name, comma, first name, and then maybe just a quick title of whatever this week's case is, Disney, Netflix. So, just so we know, I know the student and I know what subject you're talking about. So that's just common sense. Then you can actually in here put in the questions, and then underneath each question you can formulate your response. And each response should be, this is my simulated typing, so each response should be as long as it needs to be to fully answer the question. So some questions may only be a few sentences, some questions could be a couple paragraphs. It's really up to you and up to the scope of the question. So this way, when you post, when you're done answering each of the questions, putting a response into each of these links, click on Submit. So here, down here is the Submit button, so you would submit when you're completed, and now it will be posted in the forum. So then when another student logs in and they sees your response, they can click in and then they could read your response, and then they can click on Reply to ask a question. What about this? Or you forgot that? Or here is another example, something like that. You're going to post, construct a response, hopefully, as a significant response, not just a sentence or a couple of words, not like good job. I'm looking for, defined amount of content on this. And then you can click on Submit, and now you have a response. Now also, when you read over a student's response, you give them a star rating. I can't rate myself here, but so if it's really poor, give them 1 star. If it's really great, give them 5 stars. So this feedback helps you and helps the other students to understand how well their posts are and how well it's being received by other students. Completely anonymous, so be as real as you want to be on this. And that's it. So once you, and there's always a OK button to go back. So once you complete your thread, you'll see all the other students' threads appear, and then you can read them and talk to them about it. Now, so what I'm looking for is 1 original post answering the questions and at least two replies to other students' posts, not your own posts. So whatever, you may reply to other students' questions in your post, but that doesn't count as a reply, because I want you to read other students' responses and reply to them, and this is how we create the discussion board. Okay, so that would be, so week 1 we have 2 different discussion boards, and then each week Blackboard gives me detailed responses of how much you've posted, the time and the length of your post. So I get a lengthy amount of detail back from Blackboard, and I'm going to be checking each week by reading your posts, reading your replies, and looking at the analytics to see how well you're contributing. And that's going to be the basis of your grade. So if I feel that 1, you didn't answer the questions fully, that could take points off your grade. 2, if I feel like if I see that you haven't responded sufficiently to other students, that could take points off of your grade. So think of it like this. For most questions and most replies, you need at least 3 sentences to qualify as a significant contribution. So any answers that are 1 sentence or any replies that are 1 sentence would not be really, you need at least a paragraph or more to, to be valuable. Okay, so that is what I call the case discussion boards, that each week you're going to be participating in them. Now let's move on to the final element of the class, which is going to be the homework manager. So let's click on the homework manager, and that when you click on this link, this will open up the homework manager, and then you will sign in. I have to sign in, and I'll show you what this looks like. Let me just move this up a bit, reframe this. So after you've registered and you've signed in, you will see that you're in BUS441 2020 Nugent Winter. So that means you're in the right course, and we're going to be working with assignments here and results and e-textbook. We're not doing the study plan. So the e-textbook is where the textbook is, of course, and you can use that to read the textbook. Results is where you can see your grade for the course, where you can review the results of your assignments, what you got right, what you got wrong. And assignments, of course, is where we're going to house all the assignments. And they're listed in date due order. So here first one we have homework 1 getting started, and then the chapter 1 warm-up, the video case, all the way down to the quiz. So let's kind of let's do the quiz first. So when you take a quiz, and you see there the yellow boxes, they're worth more points. And these quizzes are all set up so you can start these quizzes as soon as you like. And when you click on Start the Test, and there's no time limit on the test, so you just kind of begin the test and start moving through the questions. And as you move through the questions, you start to formulate a grade, and then maybe something happens and Wi-Fi goes down, computer reboots, or something like that. You can always click on the quiz again, and it's going to say finish the test. That means you can go back in and start working on it again. And it comes back to where you left. Well, you can go to where you left off. So I left off on question 4 or 5. So you keep answering the questions as you move through the quiz. Keep going through here, and 25 questions. And then when you get to the end, you're going to click on Submit the Quiz. And this is just saying I haven't completed all the questions, and then you're going to get your results for the quiz, how many points you got, the questions you got right and wrong, and full spectrum analysis of how you did in the quiz. So that's the quiz. So it's pretty simple, but the quiz is not simple if you haven't watched the lecture or read the textbook chapter. Then you're not going to know how to answer the questions, and you'll get one shot at the quiz. So be careful with that. Now, when we go to the homeworks, we do have what we call a warm-up. So a chapter 1 warm-up is questions similar to what could be on the quiz. So these are just a warm-up, and what's nice about the warm-up is when you select your answer, it'll tell you if you got it right or wrong, and you go next to the next question. And with that, you get instant feedback. But again, you want to be careful because they're, if you get the question wrong, it counts as wrong. So you want to be careful because there's no redos on this. Okay. Now, when you move into the chapter 1 video, so here is a video assignment. So you click on the video assignment, and if you click on question 1, then you will see a link here for the video. So it's very important when you do this to disable pop-up blockers. So if you click a link, you see the homework manager pops up. This is the video of the what you need to watch ahead of time. And so this video will be, it's only a 3-minute video, but it's going to go over what you need to know about to answer the questions. So you have to watch the video in its entirety. And if let me just go back into it again. Okay. So here the video will play, and it's short, and it's about a topic or a subject that to answer the questions, you have to watch the video in its entirety. So it's sort of like a case study video. All right, so this one's about Rudy's Organic Bakery. So after you watch the video, then you can answer a set of questions on the video. So in this particular video, let's see here. I give you a couple, in this particular assignment, I do give you a couple chances to answer each of the questions correctly on the video. There's only 5 questions. So relatively fun, easy assignment. But remember, those pop-up blockers have to be disabled in order to see the video, play the video. And usually probably Chrome works pretty well with the homework manager. Then we might have a simulation video. So here is a simulation, what is management? And if we click on this, this is a path-through simulation. And again, it's not going to make a lot of sense about what you need to do and how you're going to get graded. So it basically gives you a path through, which you select, follow a path on what options to complete in this little mini simulation. And it's and if you don't read the textbook, though, you're not going to really know what is the right options for you to select. So I have some students who do the simulation, do bad in it, and then say, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong or how to do better. And I say, well, read the chapter it's based on. They read the chapter, then do the simulation. It becomes quite clear. So this is a case where you don't want to do the homework before reading the chapters. Okay, and then, so that's one. Here's another mini sim for chapter 1. And let's see, this one is based on another topic. That's a slightly different sim. This is more of a reading-oriented sim where it's... Won't let me resize this. All right, so in this particular sim, you read through an example of a company, and then it's going to ask you questions, and you decide yes, maybe, no, and you submit as you go through, and then you advance to the next step, which is more reading. So this is more of a reading type of case that you answer questions as you walk through it. And then you have the quiz, and then we start with week 2. And week 2 is, week 1 there's a lot more assignments than chapter 1 there's a lot more assignments than chapter 2, and then chapter 3 has a couple more assignments, and then that ends chapter 1, 2, and 3, or for what to do in week 1. They're all due on the same day. Except the quizzes are usually due a day after, and we have a quiz for chapter 1, chapter 2. So it's relatively easy to follow the homework manager. And then when you're done with the assignments, you go to the main menu, you can check your results, and results will give you a percentile grade of how you're doing in the class and what percentage your overall score of the class. Mine is particularly low because I only completed 1 question or 1 assignment, and it gives you the time spent. So it's a good place to overview what has been submitted and how your overall scores are doing, and of course the e-textbook. All right, so let's get back to the course. So there you go. I've discussed now the grades for the discussion boards will be, I'll eventually put those also on the homework manager. So you have all of the grades together on the homework manager. And very important with the homework manager is that you don't sign up for the temporary account. Because if you sign up for a temporary or the trial period account, I can't see your activity or see the grades or see anything you're doing. So if you come up with a brilliant idea, you know what? I'll sign up for the 2-week temporary account, do all the work for the class, and that way I don't have to pay for it. Yes, that on the surface may seem like a smart way of not paying for the textbook or the homework manager, but the textbook company is pretty smart, so they block me from seeing any of your activity. So at the end of the class, I see you've done nothing, and then you fail the class, and if you email me back, hey, I failed the class, why did I fail the class? I got 100 on all the assignments. I'll say, I didn't see you sign up for the homework manager or do anything. And so I found out the hard way that if you don't pay for the homework manager, they're not going to, show me your results. And also, it's been difficult in the past for some students to transition from the temporary trial period to the full account, and sometimes it can delete work or confuse, not to let you establish the account into a full account. So I'd say stay away from those temporary accounts. Okay, so that's the overview video for getting started with this winter course. I hope you found this helpful and useful and answered most of your frequently asked questions. I look forward to working with you this semester, and best of luck to you. Thank you and goodbye.